All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Curry, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. Living in an environment where things are changing, like interest rates, involves sometimes readjusting your strategy, your investment strategy, your money strategy, and your mindset as an investor or even as a consumer and somebody that has a mortgage or could be affected by interest rates in one way or another. Today I want to talk about this topic because it's a question I get a lot, and as a financial advisor, I see many people where they go through a particular situation like an interest rate rise and they don't really know how to treat it. They don't know what to do. They don't know if they should be proactive or reactive, and they sometimes don't know who to even talk to. The first thing to really understand is that without a budget or without an understanding of your incomings and outgoings, it's going to be very hard to actually understand whether an interest rate rise is going to put some severe stress on your money management and on your budget. If it is going to put stress, having a budget will help you understand that and plan for it. If not, at least you realize at what point higher expenses or higher mortgage repayments, for example, are going to become a problem. Another big benefit is when you know your expenses, you'll actually know whether you are potentially struggling down the track due to an interest rate rise or whether it's just because you don't have a budget or any money management skills or procedures in place. It would be a really good idea at any point of the year, and this is something I talk to my clients about regularly, to talk to a professional that is licensed to give advice on mortgages and credit to review your rate. Don't just assume that the rate you got 10 years ago, because it was a good rate 10 years ago, is still a pretty good rate today. So talking to a mortgage broker will help you understand whether you could be on a better rate, and this applies to at any period of time, but especially in times like this. When you do talk to the broker, they'll talk to you about variable or fixed and the pros and cons of both, and it is really important to go into the discussion with an open mindset. There have been periods where fixed rates are higher than variable rates and vice versa. So it's really important to go into the discussion with an open mind to actually, first of all, understand the pros and cons of both and to really know what's involved from a financial point of view. Don't just assume that one is better than the other. Once you've reviewed your rate or at least had a discussion with someone to see if it's possible reviewing, you at least will know whether you've put yourself in a better position or whether you are still in the same position from a cash flow point of view. The other part about changing factors in our economic climate is to not just plan for these things, but to also not stress and not freak out. There have been so many cases where I'll get a phone call or I'll see someone that's really stressed out about something they've been reading in the media over the last couple of weeks. But when we just put things into perspective and discuss what's going on and there's suddenly more education about what's going on, sometimes that stress and that anxiety literally disappears. So actually understanding what is going on and why it's happening will help you actually be a bit more calm and will help you make a lot more practical decisions, and talking to someone definitely helps in these situations as well so that you can make informed decisions that are going to affect you and your family. So being practical, being proactive, and talking to experts really helps in these situations. And the problem with leaving these things to last minute is sometimes, or usually, time isn't on your side. And whether it's because of your circumstance or the market or even sometimes a broker or whoever you talk to may be too busy because suddenly interest rates have gone up and this broker is now flooded with 600 emails that morning from people all wanting their rates reviewed and you're at the bottom of the list. So being proactive just gives you a bit more time and it helps you make a timely and informed decision so that you're not rushing into anything or stressing out and making irrational decisions. The other side of planning and managing an interest rate rise is reassessing your investments, reassessing where your money is invested and your overall investment strategy. this is where it helps to talk to a financial advisor to discuss these things, because interest rates 5 years ago are very different to what they are now and what they probably will be in another 5 years. So regularly reviewing your investment strategy is going to help, because once upon a time, while having money sitting in a term deposit, for example, was probably not a very good idea from a returns point of view, things might look different in the future. And the point around investing, which I've always made, is that past performance is not an indicator of future performance. We don't know what markets are going to do. We don't know what money is going to be returning just by sitting in the bank, but it all forms part of that overall investment strategy that should be reviewed regularly with your financial advisor. So reviewing your investment strategy, not just around where money is at the moment, and we've discussed opportunity cost in previous episodes, but even looking at, for example, if you have investment properties and you are making repayments on those investment properties, if there's lending and you've borrowed money for those investment properties, understanding that those repayments are going to increase. So reassessing the rent that you're charging is also going to be an important part of that strategy. So really looking at your investments and looking at where your money is, what's going on. Now, if you have a financial advisor and you're regularly engaged with that financial advisor, normally it's at least once a year, you should be reviewing these things anyway. And this is where it helps to have them reviewed, because markets change. The economic climate is regularly evolving. Rules are changing around tax and around investments. So this is where it does help to have someone like that in your corner to keep you informed, and when your strategy and your situation is reviewed, just to make sure that what was set up previously is still appropriate. So really the golden message here is not to freak out, to get a proper understanding, get informed, be proactive, and understand what a rise in interest rates means to you. By doing this, you're more likely to make informed decisions, you're more likely to make rational decisions and not rushed ones, and you're more likely to make better decisions for you and your family that you're not going to look back at in the future and think, why did I do that? Or why did I listen to this person? Or, the other part about this whole situation of, a changing economic climate is just, we all do this. We talk to friends and family about things, whether it's a renovation or sports or how to fix a leaky tap or, money. And I've discussed this many times before, but getting advice of friends and family, especially in circumstances like this where people are really, anxious or worried. And if they're not worried, the media is trying to make us worried about it. In these situations, I see many, many irrational decisions, or many decisions where people do something just because a friend said it was a great idea and it doesn't suit their circumstance. It may suit their friend that's twice their age and earns 3 times as much, but it doesn't always suit someone in a complete opposite situation. So again, getting personal advice really does help make these decisions. And I cannot emphasize this enough, but do not freak out. Get proper advice so that you can make better decisions for you and your family, and so that you can manage what's going on in a smarter way, in a more efficient way as well. Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.